As a mathematician, I study optimization, its theory, algorithms, and applications. And as an artist, my goal is to take what I've learned about optimization and what I continue to learn and use it to create what I hope are beautiful and interesting images. As both a mathematician and an artist, I'm fascinated by constraints, by the roles they play in our lives, by how we use them, by how we view them, by how we treat them. And like many artists, I make extensive use of constraints in my own work. I'm fond of self-imposing constraints. What you see before you are some of my favorite quotes of artists who've liked to use constraints in their work. I'm going to show some of my previous work. Inspired by the great Ken Knowlton, I've created domino mosaics. This one is a 17-set portrait of Gauss, 17 complete sets of dominoes, 34 columns of dominoes, 55 rows of dominoes. With the help of Craig Kaplan, I've designed numerous pieces of TSP art. For this one, I used a simple phylotactic algorithm, a model of phyllotaxis, to generate a bunch of dots in the same way that I understand that plants position their seed patterns. And by varying the radii of the dots, I got this image of Fibonacci. Then, viewing these dots as cities in a traveling salesman problem, I was able to solve the traveling salesman problem for it and produce this piece of TSP art. Now, I've also done some what I call map-colored mosaics. This is an example of a map-colored mosaic. In a properly colored map, when you have two neighboring countries, they have to be colored differently. In this map-colored mosaic of Escher, we have these wonderful fish tiles that were designed by Robert Fathauer. And you'll see here that neighboring fish that share an edge, have different colors, different shades of gray here. There are 13 shades of gray in this map-colored mosaic. This is a portrait I did of Martin Gardner. Martin Gardner four-colored. It uses it uses 4 shades of gray. So we had 13 shades of gray, 4 shades of gray. Of course, someone asked me to do 50 shades of gray. I apologize. What I'm going to be talking about for this gathering, my project for G4G11 is Game of Life mosaics. This is similar to the work of Masayoshi Iwai, who gave a lovely talk on taking images, black and white images, and turning them into Game of Life patterns. I do the same thing using different techniques, but I input grayscale images. So what we see here, hopefully the video will run, we see a still life, a stable pattern in Conway's Game of Life. Each living cell has 2 or 3 living neighbors. No dead cell has exactly 3. And as we back away, we see a still life based on a Magritte painting. But it's not quite stable. There's a glider that was in the lower right corner that just smashed into it, demolishing it, sending off other gliders and other cool things. I want to say a little bit how I made this. I designed, using mathematical optimization techniques, in particular integer programming, a set of 85 different still life tiles. Each of these 85 tiles is a still life. Here's 4 of them. The 2 on the left are brighter, they have more living cells. The 2 on the right are darker, they have fewer living cells. Each one is a still life, stable object. And these tiles are modular in that I can put them together, and the resulting pattern that I get remains a still life, it remains stable. And because there's different brightness levels, I can take grayscale images and use these tiles to replicate those images as a still life pattern in the Game of Life. Some students of mine at Oberlin, Julia Olivieri and Hank Gus, helped me design a similar system using period 2 oscillators. So here we're seeing a zoomed in shot of a period 2 oscillator. Note the familiar blinkers and clocks, and there's a couple still lifes in there. These tiles are actually 17 by 17, and as we back away from it, we see what should be a recognizable image. I held my iPhone up to my eye and snapped and got this image. And I have just, let me show you some of the tiles here. There are 120 tiles in this set. The brighter ones are on the left, the darker ones are on the right. I have one last animation to play for you. Again, a period 2 oscillator. We're starting in close. We're going to back away. We're going to back away a little more. A little more. And just a little bit more. And I don't know if Conway will like this at all. Maybe. Well, maybe I should title this John Conway's driver's license photo or something. If you want to get in touch with me, here's my contact information, dominoartwork.com, and you can find me on Twitter and YouTube. Thank you very much.